All right, so today we're going to start something a little bit different in math. We're going to review first the difference between rows and columns. So a row goes horizontally. So rows go across the board and columns go up and down. So if you're looking at a column, you'll be looking from the top to the bottom, and rows are from side to side. So if you look at this row, I'm going to circle the row. So here's a row. Here's another row, and here's a third row. So right here we have 3 rows. Over here, we have 1 row, and we have 2 rows. Now let's look at the columns. Remember, columns go up and down. So we've got 1 column here, 2 columns, 3, and 4. And over here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can see the rows and the columns, and rows and columns, when they're equal numbers like this, of rows and columns, that makes something that's called an array. An array. So an array is an equal number of symbols that are arranged in rows and columns, and it helps you to efficiently count them in a quicker way. So let's take a look at this for a second. Right here we have symbols, squares. So we have, remember, our rows, which are going across, and our columns, which are going up and down. So I want you to tell me how many are in each row. Well, let's count them. 1, 2. So I have 2 in this row, 1, 2 in this row, and 2 in this row. How many do I have in the columns? Remember, columns go up and down. 1, 2, 3, so 3. And I'm going to keep all the columns in red so we can tell the difference. 1, 2, 3. So I have 2 in each row and 3 in each column. If I wanted to use these numbers to write equations, I could definitely do that. I could use the rows. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could just count the rows. I could also just look at the columns. I could also write down 3 plus 3 equals 6. Notice I get the same sum for both rows and columns. I put a star down here because next year you're going to start using arrays for multiplication. And I'm just going to show this to you. You don't have to do this today, but I do want you to be aware of it. So you could just take how many are in the row, which is 2. How many are in the column, which is 3. And you could simply write in a multiplication problem, 2 times 3 equals 6. Or you could write 3 times 2 equals 6. So those are just some ways that you can write equations using this array. Let's look at the second array. This is an array I made with x's. My board is not behaving here today. Okay, look at the x's. How many are in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4 in this row, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in this row. How many do we have in the columns going up and down? 2. 1, 2. 2 and 2. So if you're going to write your equations, you could start with your rows. You could have 4 plus 4 equals 8. Or you could do your columns. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 2, 4, 6, 8. If you wanted to do a multiplication sentence, and we're not expecting you to do that this year, but if you wanted to, you could definitely do 4 rows of 2. I'm sorry, you just did that wrong. 2 rows of 4 equal 8. So 2 times 4 equals 8. But don't worry about the multiplication, that's for next year. I'm just exposing it to you. Okay, let's look at the last one of stars, an array of stars. How many do we have in the columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 going down each column. And going across our rows, we have 1, 2, 3 stars. Writing your equations, you could work with your rows. So you've got 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, and that's going to equal 12. Or you could use your columns. 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. So those are rows across, columns up and down, and then making your equations based on your arrays. Okay.